You clicked on this video because you keep conceding goals and losing matches, or your high-rated defenders are probably acting like they were ordered from Tame, and sometimes you begin to think it's your fault or Konami's fault by scripting. Let me just tell you the raw truth. It's all Konami's fault. The game has changed. A lot of major tweaks were added, so I experimented some new defensive tactics, and I discovered the best new way of defending in Efootball 2026. I've ruled out 5 steps to locking up your defense. But before we get into the video, please like the video, subscribe to the channel so I can cook more videos. I'm literally on my knees.
INT, get up. The community is struggling, everyone's conceding goals, defending is dead. But I know you have an idea that can change everything, because I have been with you all these while, watching every single game you played.
How do you even know I have an answer? My last tutorial flopped after all the effort? What if it happens again? What if what works for me doesn't work for them? And I make things even worse. I'm afraid.
You can help them. Even if one video failed, someone out there still learned from it. Don't let it discourage you. This time, it could save the whole community. Don't stop now.
All right, let's do this. This is very straightforward. No matter the amount of videos on defending you watch, a poor network will ruin everything. Your defenders will react slower to inputted commands, and even a 1-second lag can cost you 3 points. So, what's the fix if you have poor network? Get a personal router, 5G if possible. Trust me, half of your defensive problems will vanish, like how spoons mysteriously disappear in our homes. For a solid backline, a minimum of 3 at the back is good enough, but most pros use 4 at the back, and in my opinion, I think 4 at the back is best. You should already know the most effective playstyle combination. For 5 at the back, 2 offensive fullbacks is recommended, and a mix of playstyles in your remaining 3. Make sure they don't have the same playstyle. For the defensive midfielders, most people prefer double pivot, and I recommend it too. Just make sure you have at least 1 DMF or 2 or 3 or 4. Wait, 4 will ruin your attack. Except you want to park the bus. I personally love tall DMFs, and Konami gave us one for free. Mr. Frank, bro has been cooking. My personal double pivot combination is Anchorman and a box-to-box. Anchorman with Destroyer or Orchestrator is also great. I prefer long ball counter because it just feels right, and I have no theoretical explanation for that. In this part, I really need you to pay close attention to every detail. I observed that Konami changed the game graphics and mechanism to something close to that of PlayStation 3, which affected the defensive side of the game significantly. I also observed that the main reason for holes in your defense is because the defensive midfielders do not occupy their roles, forcing the center backs to rush out of their position to cover up for the DMF. Whenever the center back fails to recover the ball, you end up exposing your goalkeeper and might concede. Konami buffing strikers to be extremely fast made things harder for defenders. To fix this, you'll need to manually position your DMFs where they are supposed to be and allowing your CBs stay in shape. This couldn't always be possible with the auto player switch. Sometimes it automatically switches to your CB, and when you try to switch back to your DMF, it causes more problems because your players will be confused. So to implement this, you'll need to start using manual player switch just like in PlayStation. Don't panic, I've got you, bro. I will break down everything I know about manual defending. This is the main reason why we are using the manual switch. I ensure that my midfielders are the ones marking around this area. Notice how I anticipated that pass to Beckham and moved there to collect my ball. Manual positioning will literally block every single space towards your goal, leaving your opponent clueless. Look at this situation. I allowed AI to control my Convanaro by not switching to him because he has high defensive attributes and speed. Notice how he started running and shielding Mbappe at full speed automatically. If I was using auto switch, they might have switched to him, which will make him stop for a second, causing Mbappe to be totally free. Also notice how I didn't immediately clear the ball. I first allowed him to face a good direction before clearing. Observe this goal. My opponent conceded all because of poor positioning.
Put it himself. And that interception was most necessary. That was well played, well stopped. And the finish!
In anticipation, I quickly switched to Rijkaard to quickly close down Cruyff and steal the ball. This isn't the issue. What he did after is, notice that auto switch changed to his CB that is supposed to follow Batistuta in an attempt to press Rijkaard, which he failed. Now auto switch changed to his other CB that is supposed to follow Batistuta again in an attempt to press Neymar. This left Batistuta unmarked, so I squared the ball to him and scored. All this happened because of 3 reasons. His DMF was totally lost in my build-up, one of his fullback was also lost, and auto switch issues. Do you see what I'm talking about? To do this, just swipe the matchup button up. I use it when the opponent makes a heavy touch or when the opponent is about to shoot, and I also use it to close down opponents. Timing is very crucial, so make sure you are not too early or you might be dribbled and not late. Use it also to call for support when your player is struggling to collect the ball. It's very important not to spam it all over the place, or it will open your defense more. It will be useful in calling forth your closest player when there is a loose ball, and you can also do this with your goalkeeper, but you'll swipe the matchup button down instead. Applying pressure is very important in Efootball 2026 because matchup was somehow nerfed. I apply pressure with my forwards only when the ball is in my opponent's half. I also apply pressure to chase down attackers. If you notice your opponent has limited space, you should apply pressure to steal the ball. And also make sure you don't spam it all over the place. Sometimes matchup still comes in handy. Look closely how I continue to control Rijkaard so as to allow Saliba follow Yamal automatically. When the ball came close, I used second man press to pressure Yamal. Practice all this to have them in your muscle memory. Also try to avoid mistakes like this. Don't know what I was thinking, but if you do, you should learn how to turn it around. I double tapped on the left side to perform shoulder charge to steal the ball from Virgil. This is very straightforward. Just clear the ball when you recover the ball in dangerous area. It's not haram, it's common sense. Talking about haram. Most noobs are fond of spamming this, but generally I do it in situations like the last 10 minutes of the last match to Division 1 and I'm winning 1-0. If haram ball is your main play style, you're probably gay.
Why are you gay?
Who says I'm gay?
You are gay.
Smart individual instructions can greatly boost your defense compactness. And the 4 individual instructions I use and recommend are deep line on DMF, anchoring on your DMF, defensive on your DMF, and tight marking on your opponent's strikers. If you have others, paste them in the comments. I'll check them out. Some people don't even recognize this side of the game. Your defensive players require certain additional skills to perform at their top level. The skills I'm talking about for center backs are fighting spirit, to improve tenacity to avoid conceding late goals, heading aerial superiority to win more aerial duels, acrobatic clearance, weighted pass, useful when you want to play a long pass instead of just clearing. Sliding tackle became very clean and useful in stealing the ball from opponents after the major update, although you still have to be smart with it. The next time you get close to your opponent, attempt a sliding tackle, and players with the sliding tackle skill tend to execute more accurate tackle. Timing is also very important, and make sure you don't spam the sliding tackle, or it could open up your defense like this.
Bruh.
Using a sliding tackle when your player is behind an opponent can be risky and can attract a card. Test all your goalkeepers in casual PvP matches to find out the best in your squad. Sometimes you might be caught lacking such that only your GK can save you. GKs with high reflexes, deflecting, and awareness tend to perform well. I didn't mention any bonus tip coming at the end of the video because I forgot, but here's it. The best form of defense is attack. If you press your opponent so good that they'll have 0 shots, will you concede? No. I hope this video was helpful, and if it was, show it by dropping a like, subscribe, and share. But if it wasn't helpful, fuck off!